All right, we are.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, we are recording now. All right, cool. You want to do your nuts and bolts one first, or do you want to do the rejection one first?
No, we can do either way. It doesn't matter to me.
All right, let's do the nuts and bolts one first.
Cool.
All right, good.
You know what I'm going to do? I decided today we're going to do one on missed appointments because recently we've had more than a few posts on their asking what to do and how to avoid it. So
Okay, let's do
I
it.
think we'll take 15 minutes and run through the missed appointments.
That sounds good. Let's do it. Hold on. Hold on. All right, looking good, buddy. Let's do it. All right, folks, we're back. It's me. All right, let's do this. So, what you got for me today, Sean? That's a good one.
Hey, you know what? That's more than a few posts today. This on their page. And what we're going to talk about is asking what to do and how to avoid it. So it's going to be missed appointments, but I think if we could do something to minimize them, 15 minutes and not allow them to run through that.
Yeah, can I just interrupt you for a second before you get going?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the things that we're talking about, I hope you understand, we're not looking for one bomb to make everything like go run smoothly. This is not how businesses run. This is not how life is run. So when we talk about things like this, about missed visits, we're not looking to go from like a 80% show rate to a 99% show rate. Nobody has 100% of anything. But when you put into play these small things that we're going to be talking about from these modules, from the Facebook page, these are all things that are designed to edge you closer to that thing that you want. And that's the name of the game. You always heard my poker analogy where, one big move doesn't make a successful, session. It's the small edges that you can explore over the course of time, that over time you will start to win. So the example that I give, if I gave you $100, right, and 55% of the time if I give you $100, you're going to give me $200. Is that something that I'm willing to do? Absolutely. And guess what? I'm going to lose with that a couple of times, but if I add time to that, that's a huge advantage. And these steps that we're going to be talking to you about today are those things that if you do over time, you're going to make a killing. The hard thing is to do it consistently enough because I guess you can relate to this, Sean. It's I know when I was back and learning all this stuff, like I wanted immediate results, like instant gratification to this stuff, and it never came. Only until I realized that I did these small things over the course of a career do I now understand that was the true benefit of all of this, right?
Yep, absolutely, man. In any type of investing, money, time, your office, your procedures, it's always done so growth happens over time. So that was a great point. One of the things, it really starts from the beginning, how you set your office up and how the importance of you stress the patient of them coming in on your schedule and without missing. And so when I go back to is I tell when we do perfect board recommendations, that's based on them coming in 3 times a week or every other day for 90 days because the research shows that that's what we need. Now, I don't tell them that the research shows that. Hopefully by this time I've instilled enough confidence and trust that we don't need to go over that. But I'll go over them. I say, this is what we need to do in terms of care, and we have to do it in this timely fashion in order for you or life effect. So one of the things that you can do is I used to do it a little bit wrong. I found out that, not a little bit, that's a minimizer, but I was doing it wrong because what I was doing in the beginning is as much as I wanted to stress to them that, look, I don't care what time you come in, I just care that you're here that day. And what it did is I think it created a little bit of a leniency to the patient.
Right.
And so what I did for them is I reframed it by saying this. And by the way, when I set their schedule, I tell them, I'm going to see you Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday will be your makeup day. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, do you prefer morning or afternoon? Once they set the time, I will tell them now, if you come in earlier than that time, not a problem at all. We have an open door here. We'll get you seen. If you're going to be late, I do need you to call Anna at the front and let her know. If you just can't make it in that day, we'll put you on your Tuesday, that makeup day, but I still need you to call in. That kind of sets the tone that, yes, you have an open door. Yes, they're not going to waste half their day in your office, and they can get in even with a busy schedule. The reason why we changed that is because I felt like it was okay for them to miss. Absolutely. their scheduled time, but I do care if they're not here that day. And I found that too, I was having to kind of rope some of them in and reset the boundaries. That's the last thing you want to do is backtrack on these patients.
Oh yeah.
Now, the key though is to have your CA call 15 minutes after a missed appointment. That way it seeds to them, it lets them know that if they are going to be late, we do know about it, and we'll call and we'll get them rescheduled that day. If they call and say, I can't make it in that day, a simple question, why not? What can we do to help you get in today? And then you help them figure it out. Be a problem solver. A lot of times, patients are used to being held to a specific time. We know that schedules are hectic today, kids and school and work, that if you do that, it's suicide. You're going to have so many missed appointments. It's just you're going to be backtracking big time with these patients. So we have to let them know and be the voice of help for them. Have your CA say, hey, why can't you get in? We have an appointment at 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you make one of those? Whatever it might be. But then if they're not going to make it in, you must hit hard on getting them scheduled on their day off. You have to ingrain that from the beginning. And as soon as you start to ingrain this process, they're going to know that they cannot miss.
Absolutely, man. In any type of investing, money, time, your office, your procedures, it's always done so growth happens over time. So that's a great point.
Yeah, can I just rewind here? I just
One
want
of the things,
points here.
it
The
really
importance of the
starts from
schedule
the beginning,
starts
how
from the
you
right. Remember, we asked them which way works best for you. Middle number. Got it. I want to set up the 3 days during the week that you're going to make it in. Remember,
on your
when we teach it, it's almost like we flatly go into the schedule just to get them off of the finance, which is true. But the other reason we want to go to the schedule is because we need to handle the schedule. So if you didn't notice, and I'm going to do it again for the people who missed it, the way you schedule is by leading them into the schedule, not so much openly asking them which day works best for them. So if you notice what Sean did, it was, okay, 3 times a week, which 3 days work for you? Does Monday, Tuesday, Thursday work for you? And by the way, this is a formula. When can you come in? Does tomorrow work for you? Which 3 days work best for you? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Does that work for you? You should ask them the open-ended question that you normally ask. Which day works for you, or which 3 days work for you? But you immediately follow without hesitating what you want them to do. Okay? Now, in the Mafia calendar, we're shrunk down because we don't work 15 days a week. Right? So in my world, I have Monday. If they come in the morning, the options in the morning are Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. If they come in the afternoon, they have one more option. So I don't want to have them to flip off something in their head saying, "Oh, this hour is really inconvenient," And to them it might be, but I don't want to give them that satisfaction of saying that to them if I can help it. So I'm always going to say, okay, it's a Tuesday morning, they're here for day 2. So Sean, which 3 days work best for you? Does Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays work? Yes, perfect. Okay, which time would you like? 10:30 or 11:30? Give them 2 options, and that's how you do it. That's how you set the leadership of your practice up front. They have sincere schedule difficulties. I'm going to role play that with you just right now. And this is going to piggyback off what Sean said about be a problem solver, which is so spot on. And I'm going to show you what I would do as a problem solver. So let's say Sean is a guy who said, comes in a Tuesday morning. Let's say it's his day off. Okay, let's say he's like a firefighter or a policeman. Who knows? But Tuesdays is his day off. And I'm trying to handle the schedule. And let's role play a problem solving scenario. All of you guys should practice either masterminds or with a blow-up doll. Don't get any ideas. You know what I'm saying. All right. So, which 3 days work best? I'm sorry. So, which of these 3 options work best for you?
If you just can't make it in that day,
got it. Now, got it. So, what I want to do is set up your schedule. So, which 3 days work best for you week to week? Does Monday, Tuesday, Thursday morning work for you?
The tone that yes, you have an open door. Yes, they're not going to waste half their day in your office.
Got it. So there's nothing that's consistent with your schedule, and I understand. I see a lot of the firemen and police officers. So is there any consistency in terms of your
reason why we changed that is because I felt like it was okay for them to
Got it. And do you know your schedule every time? How how far in advance do you know your schedule?
not here on their scheduled
Got it.
time.
So, what I usually do for people like you, and by the way, this is not uncommon around here, is that most of my firemen and my police officers, what they do is they schedule 2 weeks in advance. Do you have your calendar on you right now?
and reset the boundaries.
And by the way, all firemen and police officers, they know this, okay? So, okay, let me ask you, in the next 2 weeks, what 3 days during the week work best for you week to week?
Is to have your CA call 15 minutes after a missed appointment. That way, it's
Those days,
to
side note, those days I have full days. So I'm gonna say, got it. So which would work mornings or afternoons?
know about it,
Okay, let's
and we'll call and we'll
Morning.
get them
Okay, I have 10,
rescheduled that day.
15, or 11. Which one works best for you?
If they call and say I can't make it in that
For the
day,
next 2 weeks, Sean, I got you down for Monday,
simple
Tuesday, Thursday, 10,
question.
15. So that
Why
works.
not? What
Okay,
can
so
we
in the
do to
second
help
week,
you get
what
in
you're gonna do
today?
is you're gonna
And then
tell Kaylee your next 2
help
weeks,
them
and
figure
you're
it
gonna
out.
do this
Be a
on a
problem
every 2 week
solver.
contingency based
A
on
lot
your
of
schedule.
times,
Does that make sense?
patients are used to being
Now, occasionally, what'll happen is you get a call when you weren't expected to work. Could I put Wednesday at 3 o'clock at your makeup day in case you can't make one of those?
kids in school and work that
those days that works
if you
Okay,
do
fantastic.
that, it's suicide. You're
Okay, great.
gonna
Awesome.
have
All right, so I got you down for the next 2 weeks, and I'll let Kaylee know how to arrange your schedule. And I want to let you know why I take so much time with the schedule is because if you're not consistent with this, there's no way that I can help you get this corrected so that you don't miss time from work. You know what I'm saying?
and be
Okay, so it's really important that we work really hard, especially as a fireman. I get your schedule is crazy, but we got to make sure that we do what we can to make sure you stay consistent. Does that work for you?
hey, why can't you get in?
Okay.
We have
Just so I can get this off my desk, can you take care of the 974 one-time payment? Can you take care of that today? Get this off my
whatever
desk?
it might be.
Awesome.
Then
To the
if
practice,
they're
right
not
here.
gonna
Let me walk you
make
to the
it
front and
in,
let Kaylee know exactly
you
what's going on.
must
Is that cool?
hit
awesome. Let's do it.
hard
So,
on getting
that was a
them
simple
scheduled
role play, but
on their
again, as
day
Sean said,
off.
a
You
problem
have to
solver. If
ingrain
you're a
that
fireman
from
or
the
these people,
beginning.
they don't know
And
their
as
schedule. I get
soon
it.
as
Reach out and
you
you can work with that.
start
As long as
to
you work with that.
ingrain
Now,
this
check this out.
process,
By me working with him,
they're gonna
the side effect
know
of me
that
working with him
there
was
is no, they
raising
cannot
the
miss, and
importance
if
and
they
the value
do miss,
of
they
making
will
sure
be
we have these
making it
people
up.
set out
So
so that
Doc,
they
does
don't
that
lose
mean
momentum.
I have
If you
to
notice,
come
I
in
also
4
give that
times
person a
next
why.
week?
I'm
Absolutely.
taking a lot of care into scheduling this because
And if,
X, Y,
as
and
soon
Z.
as you
Okay?
hold them true
Sorry
to
to
that,
interrupt you, Sean, but I wanted to make
you'll
that point.
start getting better compliance.
Most people
So you don't want to have your CA do this
either make
for
an
you.
effort to, or you just
They're gonna listen
or fail
to
to.
you, the
You
doc.
emphasize the importance of
So
it.
the CA,
Remember, they went through
Go
a
ahead.
lot of shit on that day too. So sometimes they may not remember the importance of the schedule or the fact that they have to make up that day. So I will make sure that I get eye contact and I'm checking in with them so that they know if they miss, there is a consequence that they have to make it up on that their off day. Now,
Oh, you know what?
let's-
I'm sorry, Sean, but you just like you kind of went through all this flippantly, and it's like it's like those little tweaks in importance. So what you also said before was the 15-minute call thereafter, correct? Okay. Now, the 15-minute call thereafter, remember, the goal of the 15-minute call thereafter after a miss is not necessarily get them in that day. Although, if you can get that done, fantastic. If they know that they miss an appointment, they will get a call 15 minutes after their missed appointment. So it's almost like it becomes a pattern for them. Like they'll look at the clock, oh shit, I missed my visit. And they're, let's say, across town, half an hour away, and their appointment was at 3. There's no way they're going to make it. And they didn't even call because they were just busy doing their thing. They should be thinking, you know what? Kaylee's going to call me in about 2 minutes to let me know I missed my visit. So you want the importance of your visit to be that important where it's constantly in front of them. Make sure you let your staff know that it's, their goal not necessarily is to get them in. Yes, if they can, you should be scripted so they try to get in that day or later on or the following day on their makeup. But again, you're trying to build a culture here of the importance of your calendar, of the schedule. And let me just take another aside, dude. And this is a problem that I get kind of pissed off about because this represents a week close. And if they're not closing correctly and you're not getting the schedules done, then really it's a week close. But furthermore, when you're if you don't have a good calendar, a good schedule, clinically, docs, you're not going to get the results that you need. Okay, this is just plain old physiology. Fibrosis of repair, every other day input for the next 90 days. I mean, if you have any important, forget practice management, docs. You want to be the doctor. You want to make sure that you understand they got to be in the schedule for you to help them. Period. Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
You know what, man, no, good point. But docs, also, I'm seeing a lot of people want to implement the 18-hour, the 21-hour work week. And I look at your schedule, you're like, okay, I adjust from these 2 hours, and I go to a day 1, day 2 for this hour, and I come back to adjust for an hour. Dude, it don't make it so that they're going to miss. You're going to set yourself up for failure if you don't have an appointment schedule that's convenient and easy for people to follow you. So don't screw yourself up by screwing up your schedule. You got to make it convenient for them. What was I going to say on that? Okay, so here's the other thing. If they're missing appointments, it's because you're not closing them on every visit. So if the close doesn't end once they strike a check, you have to be closing that patient on every single visit. So make sure that you're doing your job day to day, and it's going to cut down the chance of them of missing appointments. And I know we had this friend zone talk thing recently. It was so funny. I was sitting at my desk this morning. I was thinking about our thing here. I thought, you know who the patients are that miss, that I become buddies with, are the ones that I've golfed with.
Yeah.
It's so funny because once you do that, you cross over and you've golfed with them in the past. Now they become more of a buddy, and those are the ones that miss appointments, and those are the biggest pain in the asses, and they never follow through. And those are just, I pretty much watch those out. I dismiss them as they're pretty much golf buddy.
Yeah, and it's not only because they're in the friend zone, you're in the friend zone with them, so you feel like you've lost leverage in terms of your ability to, I hate to say this word, but reprimand them or keep them accountable to their agreements. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's very difficult. It's more difficult to work with someone in the friend zone as opposed to somebody else. But great point.
Okay, so here's how you handle the missed appointment. By the way, going back to calling after 15 minutes, I used to have this CA. Her name was Kim, and people would absolutely freaking love when they would see Kim calling on the phone. They would answer it. They'd be like, "Hey Kim, I know, I missed. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I'll be there in an hour." But because the CA, that's why it's so important for your CAs to build rapport and a relationship with these people also, because you don't want the bitch with the bun calling. They're not going to answer that call.
Right.
But they are going to answer the one that they have a relationship with, which is your CA. So as much as it is important for you to build rapport with that patient, equally as important for that CA. So on that note, when they have a missed appointment, the CA will have that form that's in the book that she puts on top of the clipboard or your chart or however you get it from the CA. Maybe it comes up on your ChiroTouch. And then you address the missed appointment, not the CA. The patient has to know that the one who is running the ship, the one with the authority, the doctor, is the one that took notice of it and is going to make a big deal out of it.
Right.
And when I say make a big deal out of it, first when you see that patient, bond in with them. How's your day? Get into their world. You don't want to come at them like the scolding, the parent who just caught their kid doing something wrong, and you're going to come down on it. That's not how you're going to bond in. If anything, you're going to push them away from that. People just don't like that. But here's the one mistake I did. I specifically remember this one time. I came in basically doing. So I walked in, and it was Janet was her name. I walked in, and Janet, what the hell is going on? Where the hell you been? How can I help you if you're not here? And I said, do we have to have this talk again? And she looked at me, and then she looked up. She goes, "No, Doc, I'm sorry. I had to go to Memphis. My dad was in the hospital for months." And I was like, you can't. You're fucked at that point,
Right.
basically. So you got to make sure you bond in first and know where they're coming from. Come from a place of compassion. These are real people, man. These people have lives outside your office. Most of these docs are so self-centered. They think that it's all about me, and building their patient, their PBA. No, man, these people have lives, and you have to respect that and have to understand that, they took time out of their day away from their spouse, their kids, to get in the car.
On some weeks, I'm a firefighter, so my schedule changes every week.
And don't
So I don't know what it's going to be 2 weeks out.
Cool. So Sean, let's do this. Let's role play a couple of scenarios, okay? Say I'm the guy who missed. Let's say normally a good patient. Let's do 2 scenarios. Normally a good patient, but on a typical Monday, I'm not there. And these are the people that miss because they're so consistent. Like when they miss, it's like they missed. No one has to tell you. So I come in on the next day. I have the sheet. Then everyone should be working on a sheet or some type of system where on their visit it was a visit prior or 2 days on. You know what I'm talking about. It is in the file section for download, and it's the missed appointment sheet. Okay. So here I am. my name is Dan. I come in, and I come in like nothing happened.
Got it. Hey, Dan.
2
Dan,
weeks.
all-star patient. You just moved down the list a bit, man. You missed Monday. What's going on? What do you think you can just come and go when you please? What's up?
Oh, yeah, my schedule on my job got kind of switched up.
Your schedule and your job got messed up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we need to get that corrected. What can we do? How can we help you get your schedule situated? So
Yeah, I do.
because I know how important it is to get you back to playing golf. But what do we need to do on our end?
All right, you know what? I think I have to rework my whole schedule. Could we sit down and see if I can figure out another 3 days that I can make it more consistently?
Absolutely. Let's get to that now.
Okay, cool. All right.
Follow.
But and that's like the first one, and and there was, I don't know if you've heard it, but there's some humor in there. Like, you think you can come in and out. I don't think you meant that as like a
2 weeks I
year and a half
can
school, right?
do
Right.
Monday,
But the other thing is that when you're asking someone
Tuesday, and
about a missed
Thursday.
visit, it could be as simple as, "Hey, Sean, I missed you yesterday. When you don't come when you're supposed to come, it kind of messes me up because I expect to see you. So is everything okay?" It's just it's an open end. Is everything okay? And they go, "Oh, everything's fine." Usually it's everything's fine, no problem. This or that happened or what have you. But it covers you in case they really had
Okay, let's go.
a situation that required your
Let's go
sensitivity.
morning.
Okay. The bottom line is that you want them to know that they missed. Period. Okay. So the psychology here is the next time they're out and about and it's their
Do
appointment,
the early one. 10,
they have to make a decision at that point. They have to say, "Oh, I have to go see Dr. Sean today, but I have to do this." You see, it's going to be more of a thought. You know what? I shouldn't miss because he did tell me that I had to stay on momentum. And we all do that the same. I mean, if you guys have a workout schedule, working out, it's like you have to, for a lot of us, we have to like, giddy up to go. But you have that moment where you make a decision. Should I go or should I just stay in bed? I should go because you have evidence. You have things that are backing up your decision to go based on whatever. We're telling you got to give your patients that whatever. That's all we're saying.
Right. Okay, so let me go over real quick the 3-step rule that we use in the office here that I suggest you use. It's kind of like a parent scolding a child. Like the first time you talk to them, give them a warning. If it happens again, you pull them aside, maybe.
Yeah, as long as I'm not at the station those days, that works fine.
Do it this way. The first time that they do this, typically like the example you just
Afternoon, I can do that.
they'll tell you, I got caught up at work, I was late, I had to run errands, something came up, it was a dinner, whatever it might be. If they give you, "Doc, I'm having a problem with my schedule, we need to work it," that's perfect because that's open and closed case, that's easy to handle. But if they miss and it was just something came up that day and they couldn't find a way in, say, "Okay, got it. Just show some concerns, compassion, get into their world, show them you understand, and then hit on the missed appointment and actually physically walk them up to the front so they know, yeah, you missed, it happens, but we're not going to let it just push it to the side here in the office. We need to have a solution for it, so we're going to go schedule you for next Tuesday, which is your off day, to make up this appointment from Monday or whatever it might be, Wednesday." So that's the first step. The second step, if I find that same patient is missing again and again,
That works. I
I will say,
appreciate it.
the second miss, I will take them into the office or into the exam room or something, and I'll just pull them aside and say, "Hey, you know what? This is only the second week into our program. I know how important it is for you to get this corrected. You mentioned you wanted to get back to playing golf and get back to taking those hikes. Listen, I set up a schedule for you that would help get you there as soon as possible with the best results. So we've missed a couple appointments. Is there anything that we can do on our end to help with your schedule? What can we do to make it easier for you to get into the office?" And now you become a problem solver. You recognized it.
Awesome.
It's happened twice in the first 2 weeks. You tie it back down to their LE, and then you come up with a solution that's going to help them get that back on track. That's number 2. If they miss again, or if I'm finding someone that's missed not only 1, but 2 in a row or 3 in a row, I'll actually pull them back into the room, and I'll say to them, "Hey, Dan, listen, do you remember in the beginning I gave you what I consider perfect world recommendations?
Yeah.
And I drew that whole map out for us on what we need to do. We need to do all these things in this amount of time to get you back to taking those hikes with your wife. Remember that?"
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, well, here's the deal, man. I feel like I don't want to let you down. And I know how important this is to you, but right now with all these missed appointments, it's telling me that right now it just may not be a good time for you. And with that being said, I don't want to waste your money, your time, if I can't do right by you, if I can't follow up what I told you I was going to do for you to help you out. So I tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't we just put your case on hold right now? And then when time opens up and it becomes more of a priority, just give us a call, open up, let's get your schedule back in play, and let's get you back to where we need to be. Is that fair enough?
Yeah, Doc, yeah, you're right. It's just a lot going on right now, and you know what? I know that I have to get this corrected, but I just feel like if I can just focus on this one problem I got in front of me right now, once I bang this out, it might just even take me a week. So maybe a week just to get this thing done, and then I should be much more consistent. Does that work for you?
Doc, if that's what you need to do to get moving forward again, I'm good.
either make an effort to, or you just
Perfect time.
Right.
or fail to, whatever, but you didn't emphasize the importance of it at the end of the day too. Remember, they learned a lot of shit on that day too. So sometimes they may not remember the importance of the schedule or the fact that they have to make up that day. So I will make sure that I get eye contact and I'm checking in with them so that they know if they miss, there's a consequence that they have to make it up on that their off day.
Number two is their
Now,
and by appointments and not getting the results you expect for them and that they expect, then you're gambling with your reputation and with chiropractic's reputation, because they're going to say, yeah, I went, but I didn't get the results. It didn't really work for me. He didn't do what he was going to say he was going to do. That's on them, but it's also on you, because you didn't stop and you didn't recognize the problem and take action to rectify it.
Yeah, you know what? This is so cool, because one of the things that I'm kind of like if you want to zoom this out, this is no different than a typical close. Being a problem solver means that you're in agreement. Okay, you're not a parent that's trying to scold. If you're coming from that perspective, you're going to be immediately out of agreement. So I don't care who your personality, who your type of guy you are. There's very few people who can really get away with coming to the table with like a authoritative, persona and scolding their patients for not listening. That might have been done in the 70s and 80s when the doctor title meant that was expected. But now in the modern world, 2016, you got to be, allies with your patients, not adversaries. It just doesn't work like that anymore. The second thing is that so the problem solver is the agreement. And then there's mini close. It's like, what can I do? How can I do this so that we can get this done? So even if you notice the example, I try to bow out for a week. But what Sean did was he wasn't allowing that, because that was a no close. So we stayed in the boat and say, okay, let's look at this together and bang it out. And I'm telling you guys, in terms of logistics, there's always time to take 5 to 10 minutes to bang this out. This is not something they will be doing on every patient all the time. And if you can't, I've told patients, hey, listen, before you go, I need to speak with you. Don't worry, you're not in trouble, because that's immediately what they're thinking, because they are, but they're not. And then what you do is you bang out your couple adjustments, say, okay, Sean, I'm ready to take you. This won't take long at all, okay? And you sit them down and you handle it. So before we end this, and it's a lot of good shit that we can work on. Sean, let me ask you a question. Execution-wise of these procedures, because these are procedures, right? Execution-wise, what do you suggest to the crew that once they shut this video off, they can do right now so that they can get the ball rolling and tightening this whole thing up?
All right. First, what you have to do is you should get with your CA. Make sure they're on board with you, because like I said, like you said, you have to form an ally with your patient. You have to have an ally with your CA, because if they have to know that not only does the CA know about the misappointment and going to do something about it, but so is the doc. There's no way around it. They can't sneak in the back door, get their adjustment, sneak out without, I skipped, having to deal with that. They have to know and be held responsible for it. So I would make sure that your CA knows the script, knows the procedure, and has everything trained and role played. So when it happens, it just happens naturally. And have those procedures down. Know that it's after 15 minutes. Have the list in front of you. They have to be on top of it too. They've got to know which ones are missing. Is there a pattern here? maybe they heard something on the phone or overheard. They need to share that with you so you can address it with the patient. The bottom line is you have to nip this in the bud early and often.
Early.
In the beginning.
Yeah, keyword early. Yeah, the ones that will never change are the ones that you've allowed to miss visits for like 3 months. Yeah, good luck with that one. I would just say that's a lost cause. Not worth it unless they have a new injury and the importance of their schedule can be reestablished with something they find important. And that's the name of the game. So again, dudettes, go back into this, rewind it, take up some of the scripting if you want. We don't have like a procedure for it, but this is just, like we said, all the principles and concepts that you're learning can be adapted to pretty much every aspect of your practice, because that is, you're trying to get shit done, and to get shit done, you need to empower or lead more patients and yourself to get shit done for the betterment of the profession, and especially for their health. So I hope this helped out. Sean, good work as usual.
And I look at your
See you next time.
schedule like, okay, I adjust from these 2 hours, and I go to a day 1, day 2 for this hour, and I come back to adjust for an hour. Dude, it don't make it so that they're going to miss. You're going to set yourself up for failure if you don't have an appointment schedule that's convenient and easy for people to follow you. So don't screw yourself up by screwing up your schedule. You got to make it convenient for them. What was I going to say on that? Okay, so here's the other thing. If they're missing appointments, it's because you're not closing them on every visit. So the close doesn't end once they strike a check. You have to be closing that patient on every single visit. So make sure that you're doing your job day to day, and it's going to cut down the chance of them of missing appointments. And I know we had this friend zone talk thing recently. It was so funny. I was sitting at my desk this morning, and I was thinking about our thing here. I thought, you know who the patients are that miss, that I become buddies with, are the ones that I've golfed with. It's so funny because once you do that, you cross over and you've golfed with them in the past. Now they become more of a buddy, and those are the ones that miss appointments, and those are the biggest pain in the asses, and they never follow through, and those are just, I pretty much wash those out. I dismiss them as they're pretty much more of a golf buddy at this point than a patient. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so here's how you handle the missed appointment. Um, by the way, going back to calling after 15 minutes, I used to have this CA, her name was Kim, and people would absolutely freaking love when they would see Kim calling on the phone. They would answer it, and they'd be like, hey Kim, I know, I missed. I'll be there in 20 minutes. I'll be there in an hour. But because the CAs, that's why it's so important for your CAs to build rapport and a relationship with these people also, because you don't want the bitch with the bun calling. They're not going to answer that call, but they are going to answer the one that they have a relationship with, which is your CA. So I walked in and it was Janet was her name. I walked in and Janet, what the hell is going on? Where the hell have you been? How can I help you if you're not here? And I said, do we have to have this talk again? And she looked at me and then she looked up, she goes, no, Doc, I'm sorry. I had to go to Memphis. My dad was in the hospital for the last 4 days. And I was like, you can't pick up from there. You're fucked at that point, basically. So you gotta make sure you bond in first and know where they're coming from. Come from a place of compassion. These are real people, man. These people have lives outside your office. Most of these docs are so self-centered, they think that it's all about me, and billing their patient, their PBA. No, man, these people have lives, and you have to respect that, and have to understand that, they took time out of their day, away from their spouse, their kids, to get in the car, drive to your office, some of them through traffic and over distance, so that you can see them. Just appreciate that and don't come at them the wrong way. Make them feel that you actually care that they missed, that you actually love these people, man, and that yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, got it. Hey, Dan, man, all-star patient, you just moved down the list a bit, man. You missed Monday. What's going on? What do you think you can just come and go when you please? What's up? Your schedule and your job got mixed up. Uh, all right. Well, we need to get that corrected. What can we do? How can we help you get your schedule situated so that you don't miss any more appointments? 'Cause I know how important it is to get you back to playing golf, but what do we need to do on our end? Absolutely. Let's get to that now. Follow me. Yeah. Right. Okay, so let me go over real quick the three-step rule that we use in the office here that I suggest you use. It's kind of like a parent scolding a child. The first time you talk to them, give them a warning. If it happens again, you pull them aside, maybe put them on a timeout. The third time, you pull the pants and you whack their ass. So we do it this way. The first time that they miss, typically like Dan, the example you just gave, usually they'll tell you, I got caught up at work, I was late, I had to run errands, something came up, it was a dinner, whatever it might be. If they give you, Doc, I'm having a problem with my schedule, we need to work it, that's perfect, because that's open and closed case, that's easy to handle. But if they miss, and it was just so something came up that day, and they couldn't find a way in, say, okay, got it, just show some concern, compassion, I don't want to let you down. And I know how important this is to you, but right now with all these missed appointments, it's telling me that right now it just may not be a good time for you. And with that being said, I don't want to waste your money, your time, if I can't, um, if I can't do right by you, if I can't follow up what I told you I was going to do for you to help you out. So I tell you what, why don't we do this? Why don't we just put your case on hold right now? And then when time opens up and it becomes more of a priority, just give us a call, open up, let's get your schedule back in play, and let's get you back to where we need to be. Is that fair enough? Doc, if that's what we need to do to get moving forward again, I'm good with that. Let's do that. But keep in mind also, Doc, there's never going to be a perfect time. You know, things are always going to come up. We're always going to have challenges thrown at us. And so the way we have our schedule set up is I'm going to hopefully make it so that we can kind of that we can fit kind of like we in the beginning. I made a program to fit your needs. Well, I have to have a schedule that fits your scheduling needs as well too. So let's go over the schedule again and make sure that there's nothing better that we can do or easier schedule wise that allow you to continue your care as you complete that project at work. So let's go over the schedule now. And I would go over the hours. Again, be a problem solver, but you guys got the point. Don't be afraid to release them from care if just because it's not about your ego and maintaining a patient or care. If you have to strike a check and give them a refund, because that's on them, man. That's not on you. You're cool with that. Brush that off and move on, but you have to realize that there's two things you should never gamble with. Number one is your reputation. Number two is their health. And by gambling, by letting them miss these appointments and not getting the results that you expect for them and that they expect, then you're gambling with your reputation and with chiropractic's reputation because they're going to say, yeah, I went, but I didn't get the results. It didn't really work for me. He didn't do what he was going to say he was going to do. That's on them, but it's also on you because you didn't stop and you didn't recognize the problem and take action to rectify it. Um, and All right. First, you have to do what you have to do is you've got to you should get with your CA and make sure they're on board with you. Because, like I said, as much as or like you said, you have to form an ally with your patient. You have to have an ally with your CA because if they know, they have to know that not only does the CA know about the misappointment and gonna do something about it, but so is the doc. There's no way around it. They can't sneak in the back door, get their adjustment, sneak out without, I skipped, having to deal with that. They have to know and be held responsible for it. So I would make sure that your CA knows the script, knows the procedure, and has everything trained and role played. So when it happens, it just happens naturally. And have those procedures down. Know that it's after 15 minutes. Have the list in front of you. They have to be on top of it too. They've got to know which ones are missing. Is there a pattern here? Maybe they heard something on the phone or overheard. They need to share that with you so you can address it with the patient. You have to, the bottom line is you have to nip this in the bud early and often in the beginning. Yeah, done. Yep, you buddy. Bye guys. Peace, Mafia.